Are you ready for the best damn sports radio show on the planet? Man Hour Nation, rise up.
Well, I bring you the host, Mike, Buck, and Cone. You know who coming to the sports talk than what you about to hear right here. I second that.
Go. You know that it's us when we talking about sports. Giving you facts on the field to the court. Tune in, we need the support. 1 hour too short, then listen some more. On all your stations, not dropping no music. Starts like Adidas, but Nike just do it. Down 4 in the 4th, we go for the win. Michael 2 seconds, we taking it in. Buck, Mike, and Combs, you know what's going on. Man, now we're out the dark, no LA, we the big spark. No 4th and inches won't cut you short. Got the best talking, it's all sports. Buzzing more than buzzer beaters. We coming live all through your speakers, go.
And what is up, everybody? Michael Buckheischer here with the Man Hour. Head over to manhourradio.com. Check out the merchandise page. Check out the blog page. Also become a member as well. It's a little $3 a month over there. You can become a member. Get access to the all-access footage, behind-the-scenes footage, after-hour show, and all the good stuff that happens when you can become a member. But before we get too carried away into the show, let's welcome the man, the myth, the legend himself, Brandon B.C. Combs at manhour_Combs on the old tweet machines. What's up, Brandon? What's going on tonight, man?
What is going on, Man Hour Nation? What is going on, Buck? What is going on, Big X Radio?
Man, so Combs, I got a new webcam today, and I decided to
You're
hook it
close
up.
And personal.
Yeah, so this webcam is actually way across the room. Like I'm talking like 20 feet away, and it's still like wham in your face. And you know, me being an IT guy myself, like it's plug and play. It's easy, right? Well, guys, never try to get new technology 5 minutes before the show starts because it just doesn't work. I mean, like that is just the way it is.
You want to do me a favor though, while you look all nice and purplish on this camera? Sing after me. Oompa, oompa, oompa dee doo.
I got another riddle for you. Combs is getting married and he's not a Jew. Tell us about your wedding plan so you go to.
And we just got canceled. All right, cool.
So you are getting wed. You have proposed to your now fiance, beautiful young lady, and
she is,
and fans only Buck Nasty. Yeah, it's actually Buck_Nasty there, Tori, for the OF page. But with that being said, Combs, you have proposed. She said yes. This was about a month ago now. You guys have been engaged.
Yeah, we've been we got engaged on March 6th. I believe I have that date right. Yeah, I better have that date right.
Right. So it's been a month and some few odd days. And when I proposed to Cindy, so we literally proposed. We went over to her house and she's like, "Mom, I'm engaged." Oh, yada yada yada, awesome. And she's like, "So have you guys had a date set yet?" So I gave you a month, Combs. Do you guys have a date? Do you have a date set yet?
We do. We actually just set the date this past week, and it is September 3rd of 2022. We are currently working on our list, which I believe we have right now at 150 people. So I think we're done with it. Okay. So the next step is to go find a venue and then start sending out invites and doing all the fun stuff.
So you have a year and about 5 months to get this planned out. Are you feeling the nerves yet?
No,
not at all.
No. You know, look, I don't. There's not much I get nervous for, but I'm a very emotional guy, so I can almost guarantee you that there will be tears during the wedding. Like, almost guarantee it. So, but I don't get nervous. Like, I don't. You know, I kind of take things in stride, so not much really makes me nervous. Every once in a while, like, God, man, I was really nervous when the Cubs were playing in the World Series in 2016.
Jeez. This guy.
I get really nervous on the first day of a new job or something. But, like, I kind of feel like, we're already pretty much married. I mean, we live together, we pay the bills together, we have a joint bank account, we do all the things. I see her comment down there. We do all the same things that you would do as a married couple now. So I won't be nervous on the wedding day, but there'll definitely be some emotions for sure.
Yeah. So like one thing when I got married here is when, like, first of all, proposing was like one of the most nerve-wracking things ever. Like, you had to get down on the knee and like you're like what if she says no? Like, because so like me and Cindy like we kind of passively like talked about it. It's like, hey, I'm going to propose to you, yada yada yada. What kind of ring would you like? And she's like, oh, I want this one, yada yada. I'm like, okay, whatever. So like I proposed. I was like, wow, that was nerve-wracking. But the most nerve-wracking part about it was the moments before the wedding, because like I'm sitting there looking out the looking out like the like our glass and like looking down like where the reception is like going to be at and stuff like that, and people weren't showing up yet. I'm like, man, guys, like, hey, come on, like we get married in like 45 minutes. Where are PA people at? And then I'm like, well, shoot, did Cindy call it off and didn't tell me? Like, what is going on? Like, what? I need to know something here. But
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I definitely shedded some tears when I saw my beautiful wife walk down the aisle. So speaking of shedding some tears, we do have a man that sheds a tear at least once a week. The Wyatt Williams at @manhour_TWW. Wyatt, welcome to the show, man. Welcome to some. We're getting back to our roots here on the Man Hour and like getting some man talk and stuff. So, how are you today, Wyatt?
I'm good now that I'm here with the meatloaf and the tomato, man. This is great. I got BC the meatloaf, and then Buck with his new camera, the tomato, which now you've disappeared on us. Where'd you go, man?
I decided to shut it off because the whole Oompa Loompa thing is kind of I don't know, just like
Violet. You're turning violet.
Violet, yeah. So Wyatt Combs is getting he's getting married in. What was that? 18 months, Combs? Like it's about 18 months. You're getting married,
somewhere around there.
Wyatt, you have prom in about 18 days, and you're 18 years old. Are you ready for your prom?
Yeah. I mean, it is what it is. I'm not a real like. I don't know how to explain it. I'm not a real like event person like that. So if I wasn't with Nikki and she didn't, or if I wasn't with Nikki, I don't think I would go, honestly. Like I might go and hang out for a little bit and like go with some friends and stuff. But like, I'm just not that kind of like we went.
Does your school do an after prom?
Yeah, so we do like an after prom, and then one kid, we're not sure who it is yet. Every year normally hosts like an after prom, and everybody like goes to their house and hang out after and stuff. But so yeah, got fitted for the suit the other day, and see, so that's another thing. Like I'm not a real big like I hate those stores like that where you get suited for stuff like that.
Yeah,
I'm not a big like planner like that. So my mom and Nikki pretty much they picked out everything for me. We went through that suit. I just looked at him and I was like, here's the deal. I want to get out here as quick as possible. You guys pick whatever you want and I'll put it on. How about that?
Right. So so after I get married, Michelle and I are going to, we're going to have a hotel reserve. We're going to be hanging out after the wedding, and it's wedding
Brandon.
Night.
Brandon, don't do this.
Where are you going after
Brandon?
prom?
We are just going to skim.
I'm just asking you if you're going out to your friend's house, or if there's like, is there a hotel room plan? Like, I mean, are you going to be romantic and put flowers on the like what?
Let's just go ahead and move past that.
You look
because
as red as Buck did.
That is not going to have a question that would answer. But Michelle does have a great question here for you. Do you have to wear a mask at prom? Because Indiana here, we no longer have
That's
the
a good question.
Yeah, you guys are
no
mask
longer have
free,
the
right?
we are mask free.
Yeah,
right
but
now.
I've only been in one store that you didn't have to wear a mask, and it was in a gun store. Me and my brother went into a gun store the other day, and you didn't have to wear a mask in there. That's the only store I've been in so far.
Nana's coming at
sure. I'm sure we'll have to wear masks and stuff. I mean, I hope not, because that would be annoying.
So I was at the baseball game. What day was that? That was last Friday.
Thank you, Michelle.
That was last Friday, and I didn't have to wear a mask at the high school game. So,
So now Texas doesn't have a mask mandate, but they opened up their stadium for the
100%.
Texas Rangers to full capacity, but they were recommending that people in the crowd wear masks. So you saw a lot of people in the crowds wearing masks. So I wonder if it's because, in large crowds, are you still going to be, having to wear them, or is this like, I need to know like how this all works because I need Illinois to do this. Like I'm so tired of wearing a mask. It's ridiculous.
Did you guys notice that? Excuse me. Did you guys notice that last night, for the Phillies and Braves game, that like as they were showing the replay of that, I don't know if you guys noticed too, but I was like looking up into the crowd and nobody around there had a mask on.
Well, they were
So
socially
I don't.
distanced. Like
Yeah,
There was a lot
so
of
in some
people
of these
there, I felt
crowds, like when I was at Wrigley, so there was like 10,000 people there, but when you were at your seat, you didn't have to wear your mask, but if you get up from your seat, kind of like being at a restaurant, you have to wear your mask while you're walking around the ballpark or going to the bathroom or whatever the case is. But while you're at your seat, you can take your mask off.
Oh, that's cool then.
yeah, because it makes perfect sense since COVID is an airborne disease, and since you're, I don't know.
Did you also like? I was talking with so I have a buddy who, actually, it's my cousin who does all of the stuff for Little Leagues, and they have a guy who works at Northwestern Medical. He's a one of their scientists there that studies all of these viruses and stuff like that. He says when you're standing next to somebody, it takes them up to 15 minutes to spread the virus to you.
Yeah.
So they asked him if the players had to wear masks, and he said, well, there's never going to be a player on the field that is standing next to another player for 15 minutes unless they're in the dugout. So as long as they're not in the dugout, they don't have to wear a mask for the Little League.
That's kind of the way they explained it to us at school and stuff. So like we're whenever you're able to socially distance and stuff, just as long as you're like if you're within 6 feet of someone for longer than 15 minutes, then that's where they get all.
To me, that contradicts everything that they've been crazy about. Like, you got to wear masks, you got to hand sanitize and all that stuff. If it takes them 15 minutes to give it to me, like, why am I worried about this inside of a grocery store? I can guarantee you I am never next to anybody for 15 minutes inside a grocery store.
Well, if
you know how comfortable that would be, just following around somebody real close for 15 minutes.
If you guys want to go ahead and debunk that whole occupation, there is that. So there was a prison in Kentucky. The COs got COVID, and then the prisoners got COVID as well. And when you walk around and do your checks, you were not exposed to a prisoner for more than like a minute. Yeah. So that whole 15-minute rule is kind of debunked.
That's the other thing that I don't understand. Tori Anderson says Cubs got the Rona. How'd that work out? The 3 pitchers. So you tell me how, because they're sitting next to each other for the entire 9 innings of a baseball game in a bullpen. Okay, and pretty much all the bullpens now are enclosed. So you're kind of like in this enclosed area.
It's a Corona hot box.
So how do only 3 of them get it, but not the other? Like, I don't understand. This is what I don't understand. It's kind of like a tornado. Corona is like a tornado. It'll hit this house but miss that house, and hit this one but miss that one. Like, I don't know, man.
Yeah,
it's
like,
ridiculous.
Well, what is ridiculous is the biggest testing center is in Pennsylvania, which is owned by a Democratic senator, and then it's been proven that over 50% of their tests have been false positives. So you can take that. So you can take that whichever way you want to, but I'm going to say that it's been overblown since day one. Let's just be honest.
I guess.
But yeah, so guys, we do have an exciting show coming up for you here after the break. We are going to break down that exciting Phillies-Braves game last night. If you missed it, replay is broken. Let's just be flat honest about it. Replay is broken. And then the NFL owners are expected to approve a number change. We'll talk about that. Odell Beckham Jr. on the move from Cleveland. Then we got the infamous Would You Rather and the fan favorite Liar Liar. And then, of course, we got the mock draft coming up as well. 3.0 Wyatt Williams mock draft. So, guys, stay tuned right here on the Man Hour. We'll be right back after these words from our sponsors. Hey. And welcome back to the Man Hour, guys. Michael Buckeyes along with Brandon Combs and Wyatt Williams tonight. If you're going to miss any part of the show whatsoever, you can find us on iTunes, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. And, of course, you can find us on Big X Sports Radio every Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. That's East Coast time. That's Big X Sports Radio. And if you're not in the Jeffersonville, Indiana area, you can check them out on BigXSportsRadio.com. You can also find us on 313 The Flash, based out of Detroit, Michigan. That's 313theflash.com. So let's go ahead and welcome the boys back onto the show. Wyatt and Combs, guys. Baseball is starting to get hot and heavy. We had Hoffy on, the baseball lackey himself, giving us his power rankings last night to talk baseball. And while that was happening, we saw an exciting end to a very exciting game on Sunday Night Baseball. So, Combs, tell the people how that play came about and what happened.
So I can't remember the name of the player that was on third for the Phillies, Rowe or something like that, I believe is his last name. And a fly ball got hit to Marcell Ozuna in left field, and there was one out, and Marcell Ozuna threw the ball to the plate as the runner tagged up and threw a P. I mean, just on a rope to the catcher. Catcher catches the ball, makes a block, pushes the guy off the plate. Guy never touches the plate, makes a tag.
Allegedly.
Gets called safe. No, that's what happened. And guy gets called safe. And so then they review it because they go upstairs and they say, hey, should we review this? And they say, absolutely, because he was definitely out. So they go to replay, and replay goes to New York, and the eyes in New York, as they do more often than not, they got it wrong. And they call it. They say he was safe. They say the play. He was clearly out. His foot never touched. 4 different angles show you that his foot never touches the plate. So I don't know how they get this call wrong. And it's funny, too, because yesterday I was talking about how replay got a call wrong and in the Cubs game and cost the Cubs a run and cost them a rally that they had going. I don't understand how you go to replay. You have replay instituted so that this doesn't happen. And I don't understand how it happens and happens often. I don't get it.
Yeah, so one of the terminology that is always spoken when these replays do come about is there has to be undisputed evidence that the call has been reversed and returned, right? So why we sat there and we saw all 4 angles. Actually, I think there's even 5 calls because they had the one in center field, left field, right field, and behind the plate, and then somehow there were
angles.
What's that?
I said there could have been 30 angles. That 100% was out.
Yeah. So Wyatt, let me ask you this question. Combs has brought up an issue with instant replay in Major League Baseball. We saw it live right here on the Man Hour last night. Should instant replay in Major League Baseball just not exist?
I don't know. That's a tough one. I'm gonna say no, that it should exist because that's one mess up, and I'm sure there's been many in the past and all that. But there have been many moments that not just in baseball but in sports that you go and look at instant replay and it has ended up with the right call. So it can reverse a lot of stuff as well as it can show a lot of things that are true or that actually happened. So I think it's a little bit of both. It's kind of half and half. Like there are always going to be good things and bad things about it. There's always going to be that fact that if you do have it, like for example at the college level, at college stadiums, you're allowed to play a replay one time. And it has to be at full speed. You can't even slow it down if you're going to play it on a Jumbotron. The reason because of that is because, you'll have a mad fan base at the ref and all that stuff. So no matter how you toss it, there's always going to be pros and cons of both. But I still think at the end of the day that, it is much easier to get a call correct through the instant replay, even if there are sometimes going to be
baseball's proven that wrong.
Yeah, if it is so easy, why in just the last 2 days alone have we had so many misplays on replay? Combs, can they even fix the replay system like at this point?
Yeah, they could hire me, somebody who's intelligent enough to look at a play and say what the heck just happened, because I don't understand. Like, was the guy drinking? Like, is he not watching the game? Did they have to wake him up? Was he in a deep sleep? Was he on call that night? Like, what is the deal with replay in New York where they get a call like that and they get it wrong? Like, that was as plain as day as you can get.
Yeah. That's why I don't think it's necessarily replay's fault. I think it's the person watching the replay. Because the instant replay doesn't make that call. It's the person in New York who watches that play and watches the replay, and they make that call. So I think that all depends. Maybe we should find a better set of people to make these calls, or have them go through some kind of a test every year of what they think is safe and not safe.
A committee like the NHL does. The NHL has one official signed to each game for replay in Toronto. So there's an official sign for each game. So as 16 games are going on, there are 16 guys that are in charge of watching individual games.
How about this?
And baseball should do the same thing.
How about this? Why are we relying on somebody else not at the game to make the final call? Why doesn't the official on the field, the head ref, the person behind the plate, the person wearing the white hat, why don't they make the review call? Why does it need to be sent off to New York or LA or wherever? Why can't they make the call right there on the field?
That's what happens in hockey. In hockey, so if they can't make the call, like if it's an offsides call, the refs go and they look at it, and the refs decide whether or not to overturn it. It's the same thing in football. You've got the referee underneath the.
Well, they're getting sent to New York now too, though.
I thought they go under the tent and they watch their play and they make the decision.
They just like what was it last season, Buck, or a season 2 ago? It's very new. Okay. They just started sending it to New York.
Either way, yeah. So to me, that's stupid.
I think that's stupid.
There's a reason why you have the head umpire in charge. There's a guy who is the head ump of the crew. Okay, and why not have him? Because they go over there, the head of the crew plus the guy who makes the call go over to where the headset is. Why don't they have a tablet where they can watch the play and be like, hey, this is what I saw, this is why I made the call. If you see the same thing on the replay, say, yeah, I was right in making my call. If you see something different because you were shielded or whatnot, then sure, overturn your call. But just like the one where yesterday where Contreras was sliding in the second to break up a double play, did not make contact with the second baseman, and the umpire didn't call anything. He said it was a good slide. Didn't call interference or nothing. The Pirates challenge it. It goes to replay. Replay calls interference. How can you interfere with somebody that you didn't interfere with?
Right. Yeah, I mean, like, that to me is just that, like, plays like that, it is like being able to call holding on an instant replay. Like, it just, like, like it shouldn't happen.
That's not what instant replay was intended for in baseball. Like, when they go to the one where if a guy's sliding in a second and when he goes to stand up, his foot comes a centimeter off the base and the tag is still applied, then he's out. That's not what replay was intended for. Replay was intended for fair and foul balls. It was intended for fan interference. It was intended for that type of stuff. If you got a call that was seriously wrong, it was intended for that. It's not intended for all of the little things that they have gone and used it for. Baseball absolutely needs to sit down this offseason, and the players as well in the collective bargaining agreement need to say, hey, we need to have different guidelines for replay because there are certain things that should not be looked for on instant replay. If I beat the ball to the bag by 3 feet, but in the momentum of my slide, I hop up and my cleat just barely comes off of the bag, I'm safe.
Well,
like that.
I mean, I don't know.
You're not out.
I mean, you are out if your foot came with the bag.
If you slide past the bag, yes. But if your foot pops up a half an inch off of the bag, which happens a lot, and then they get it overturned, that's a bad use of replay. It just is. If you beat the throw to the bag and you don't slide past the bag and you don't come off the bag or you don't turn the wrong way or you don't do anything stupid, then you're safe. Like, I beat the ball by 3 feet, but because when I was getting up off the ground, my cleat disconnected from the bag by a half a centimeter. Now I'm out. that's ridiculous.
Right. So let me play devil's advocate here, just because that is what I'm good at here on the Man Hour. And if you guys are new
At least
here,
you're good at something.
considering hitting that like button and the subscribe button as well over here on the youtube.com/Man Hour page. But Combs, let me ask you this question first, just because like you are still wet behind the ears and you are learning how to become a man still. With that being said, many men are just afraid to admit when they're wrong. So Combs, why do you think that is why they send the play off to New York now, just because, X referee is like, no, I made that call right, and they're going to look for any type of shred of evidence to basically confirm themselves?
I think they send it off honestly because humans are imperfect. You make the wrong call, just like a couple of years ago.
Des still caught it.
Correct. What?
Des still caught it.
No, he didn't catch it. But anyways, Armando Galarraga, was that his name? Combs.
Yeah, Galarraga.
And they couldn't overturn. He had a perfect game. It was clearly out at first, but the umpire, a human,
that is
makes
what
a
that
bad
play
call.
right there is what instituted replay. Replay came in the next offseason.
Yeah, well, that's why, because humans are imperfect. You can't expect a human to make every single call perfectly, and I mean, now we're seeing instant replay, of course, can't be made perfectly every single time. But that is why, because humans are imperfect. That's the perfect answer to it. Is you can't rely on one person to make a call in that exact moment and be correct 100% of the time. It's just not going to happen. And Galarraga, correct?
Yep.
Lost a perfect game because of it, and that's just one of the many examples why we do need.
The umpire admitted his mistake. He was in tears after that game. The umpire was. He was not happy about his call. He was upset that he took a perfect game away from Galarraga, and so I just I don't know, because it's hard for me when it comes to replay when we have this discussion, because I do think that replay has its flaws, but at the same time, I'm a big advocate for having automated strike zones, because the strike zones have gotten so bad. So it's one of those things where I think everything's just so imperfect. I think I've really done a 360 on all of it, and I'm just back to the point where why don't we just go back to human error in the game? Let the umps make the calls. No replay, no nothing.
Yeah.
If you get screwed on a call, you get screwed. But eventually with those calls the ones that you get screwed on and the ones that you don't, within the course of a season, they kind of even themselves out. Sometimes they'll go against you. Sometimes they'll go for you. Like, it's just how it is. So I've come to the point where I think I'm just done with replay, and in even the automated strike zones, as much as I hate watching, guys like Jim Joyce and Joe West and God, I can't even think of Hernandez behind the plate. The worst strike zones you'll ever see in your entire life. Angel Hernandez is the worst umpire I've ever seen in my life. But hey, just let him make the calls, because it is what it is.
So guys, let me ask you this question, because I feel that instant replay has changed the course of one franchise in general that comes to mind right now. Yes, I saw Mike LeBlanc over here in the Facebook chat. What's up, Mike? And his Dallas Cowboys. If Dez Bryant would have caught that ball and made it into the end zone, the Dallas Cowboys would have probably won that Super Bowl that particular season. No, they would not have.
Aaron Rodgers
Bryant did catch the ball.
No, he did not.
Yeah, he did.
At that time, the rule was you had to obtain full control, or you all the way through the fall down and everything.
Stop it.
He did not. The ball pops out clearly. You see the ball leave his body.
Okay.
Why? He took 3 steps and reached for the end zone.
Because you know why? It's because it happened against the Packers. Had it happened against any other team, I've been like, yeah, he definitely caught it. Yeah. He just can't see realistically when it's the Green Bay Packers. I'm telling you right now, if that was a Green Bay Packer who leaved him in that, that's crap. He made that catch. He made that catch.
Okay.
And he'd be like all over it.
2 things. With the new rules, yes, he caught it. 100%. After they changed the rules, that is a catch.
They changed it because he caught it, and they called it incomplete.
He did not obtain full control all the way through the fall down and everything, the whole way through. The ball clearly popped out.
What?
You're right. But what happened to the ground can't cause a fumble?
Huh?
What happened to the ground can't cause a fumble?
It wasn't a fumble. It's an incomplete catch. The ground can cause an incomplete catch, can't it?
How can the ground cause an incomplete catch but can't cause a fumble?
Because the ball came out of his hand. I mean, it clearly leaves his body.
I just want to see you struggle.
And the ball comes straight up and out, and he rolls, and the ball comes over.
Why? He took 3 steps and reached for the end zone.
Yes.
At that time, the rule was you have to catch the ball, obtain full control all the way through,
and he did.
Falling down. And he did not.
And
the ball.
How many steps did he take when he leaped for the end zone? How many?
When he fell down, he did not obtain full control.
Oh, stop it!
Simple.
Okay,
it's that simple.
So basically, what you are telling me?
Hold on. Okay, the second thing, Aaron Rodgers still had like 2 minutes left to drive down the field and win that game. There was no way.
And we've shown over and over and over again that Aaron Rodgers is not the guy that does stuff in pressure situations when it comes down to getting his team to a Super Bowl.
What?
In the NFC title game, he is not the guy who shows up.
That was not an NFC title game. Any game before the NFC title game, if you give Aaron Rodgers 20 seconds, he can get the ball down the field all that you want.
Any game but the title.
Look at the divisional round. Dallas 13-3 a couple of years ago. Divisional round. Aaron Rodgers has 37 seconds to get it into field goal range. He throws a dot perfectly down the sideline. Jarrett Cook grabs it.
Yeah, he's one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, Wyatt. He's one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. How many Super Bowls has he won?
Either way, they still would have won that game.
How many Super Bowls has he been to?
He has been to 1.
Okay. Rest my case. How many has Tom Brady been to?
Totally different.
Oh, okay. Totally different. Yeah, you're right. Cool.
Say it's the GOAT. That's the GOAT.
Oh,
that's totally different.
Okay.
Wasn't it the Green Bay game and Seattle game as well, where the Packers kind of got hosed with a replay call as well?
That was the replacement ref. So what they couldn't read. I don't think they could review it.
Yeah, that was a fail Mary.
That was the fail Mary. Yeah, that was a rough night.
All right. So speaking of football, guys, the NFL owners are expected to approve a number change. The number change basically goes towards running backs, defensive backs, and linebackers, saying that they now can wear single digits numbers basically here. So if you are a number connoisseur, quarterbacks, punters, and kickers can wear numbers 1 through 19. Running backs can wear numbers 1 through 49, 80 through 89. Defensive backs are 1 through 49. Linebackers are 1 through 59, and then 90 through 99. Offensive linemen are still the same, 50 through 79. Defensive linemen 50 through 79, and then 90 through 99 as well. So, Combs, let me ask you this question. Why does this need to be changed? Why do we need to allow running backs, defensive backs, and linebackers to wear single-digit numbers?
I think it's stupid that we don't allow any player to wear whatever number he wants to wear. What do I care if my kicker is number 74? What do I care if my kicker is number 3? What do I care? What do I care if my quarterback is when I buy a jersey from a team that I like or a player that I like, I don't care what number's on the back. I don't care. Choose whatever number you want to wear. If you want to wear number 3,423, I'm all for it. Go put it on your back. I don't care. If you want to wear the number 1 because you're Aaron Rodgers and that's the only amount of Super Bowls you're ever going to get to in your entire career because you play in Green Bay, I'm fine with it. Wear number 1. Do whatever you want to do because I really don't. Why do we have number ranges for these players? Why can't a center wear number 3? Why can't a defensive back wear number 17?
This is where
it just doesn't make any sense.
Why? Go ahead. Sorry, I need to take my blood pressure medicine because I'm about to go crazy on Combs. Jeez.
What? Over a number?
Over a number.
Out of all the stuff we've talked about, the numbers is what's going to get your blood boiling finally?
Yep. Go ahead.
I personally, I kind of agree with both here. Because I think I know where Buck's going to go on this one. I kind of agree with both. I agree with Combs that I necessarily don't really care now. But I think the NFL this offseason was pretty much just going after, let's make our fans as uncomfortable as possible. Let's have a linebacker wearing number 13 while his team goes 8-9. Ugh, I hate that. That's so weird. Can the 2 most uncomfortable ones that I will hate any team to do is go either 8-9 or 12-5. That is disgusting. I cannot stand that those numbers that way. I just and for a linebacker to wear he now that I'm thinking about it, a center wearing number 3, that's not right.
Okay,
that's not right. I agree with Buck on that one. That's just uncomfortable.
Yes.
Why?
It's
Okay.
uncomfortable. It's
Okay.
just it's
So first
odd.
things
Why
first.
is it uncomfortable? What? It's a
Because first things
number.
first. Okay, guys, you guys have had your time. Now it is time to get some logic into your guys'
nasty.
headphones here. First of all, Wyatt, you are absolutely ridiculous. Like I could care less about a team going 8-9 because there could be very few teams going 8-9 besides the Chicago Bears and the Dallas Cowboys. Moving
The
forward,
Bears aren't winning 8 games.
moving forward here, the reason for the number ranges is because that's just the way it is. Like that is just the way. Just because you have to distinguish offensive players and defensive players and linemen from receivers and yada yada yada. You cannot have a lineman wearing a number 3 just because. How are you going to distinguish that a offensive lineman isn't eligible downfield? You can't unless he's wearing the numbers
Because
between
he's
50.
412 pounds. What do you mean?
Did you not see
How do you
Jamarcus
not-
Russell?
Like, dude, my God.
Jamarcus Russell looked like a freaking lineman roaming downfield.
Jared Lorenzen, the hefty lefty. Come
Right.
on now, boys.
So what are you doing when you're reffing a game? Are you closing your eyes as they run downfield and be like, "Oh, I don't have to because I don't." What do you mean? How do you tell the difference between a lineman who's illegally downfield and the rest of them?
By the numbers.
The linemen,
By the
linemen
numbers.
are this damn wide.
Okay, have you seen Zen? Zen is a brick shithouse. He does not look like a typical lineman here. Zen looks
what-
like a very, very big wide receiver, a
Right.
tight end.
Right. He does not look like
Looks
a
like a
big wide
tight-
receiver or a tight end. He looks like a
He
big.
explained the tight end
built-
perfect. He goes, he looks like a really big wide receiver. That is a tight end.
What?
Just say tight end.
I don't know, man. You guys are killing me.
And then number 2. First of all, I absolutely hated seeing Montgomery wear number 88 in the backfield. It literally pissed me off every time I would see that. Yes. Every time I saw 88 in the backfield carrying the ball, I wanted to kick you in the throat. Wyatt. I'm like, man, I hate 88 so much in the backfield. I want to kick Wyatt in the throat. Like it is absolutely ridiculous. Like
We didn't even know each other then.
I telepathically knew, and I just knew that because a running back should be wearing like 20 through 49, like at the most. She's like, and then a
No,
quarterback.
49's uncomfortable. I don't like
Fuck,
that.
what
A
happened?
running
Did you,
back
did
wearing
you get
49.
to K-State and somebody made you wear like the number 0 for a couple of days?
I wore
So,
number
like, you got
7
this
as a
number
linebacker.
agenda?
So basically, what it
You wore
comes down
number
to.
7 as a linebacker,
Yes.
and you're worried about what these guys are wearing?
Yes.
What are
You just
talking
contradicted
about?
everything you just said.
Yes.
If you guys would wait, and I would explain, the NFL is trying to be more like the college game. They are trying to manufacture to those college fans, like, hey, look, your favorite player didn't have to change his number. Zeke,
hold on.
What number was Zeke in college? Like number
Let
2,
me ask you a question, Buck.
15.
15. Zeke's
Buck,
gonna be the first one to change his number. Watch it.
Let me ask you a question, okay? Zen makes it pro,
Yep.
all right? And he's a
He'll be number
a
55.
Pro Bowl lineman.
Yep.
And 55 isn't available on the team that he goes on, so they just give him a number, and they give him number 4.
He just
Are you
switched.
no
He's not
longer
55
rooting
anymore.
for Zen because he's wearing number 4 as
Yeah.
a lineman?
Because he can't. He can't. A offensive lineman number is like 50 through 80. Like that's just the way it
But
is.
I'm just saying,
No,
why do you care what numbers
79.
are, like,
An offensive lineman cannot wear 80. That is
all right,
uncomfortable
so
as well.
let me
I
put
was
it
right
like
about
this then,
And just
Buck.
smacks
So
one
let
outta
me
here.
put it like this then, because
Chris
they
Bryant,
just
home
said,
run, Combs.
Who cares?
oh, you must be ahead of me on the thing. I don't know why my shit's so
Sorry.
yeah.
I didn't mean to spoil it.
40 minutes and 10 seconds, Bucks. You got to edit that out before you put it on the radio tomorrow. I don't. That was a shot. I don't understand why. Like, let me ask you this. So if the Kansas City Chiefs next year, if they're whatever their linemen are wearing, I don't know, whatever number they're allowed to wear, it's a low number, you don't like it, or their defensive backs are wearing number 5 or whatever the case is, are you no longer going to watch?
Yeah, because I feel like I'm watching.
You are full of crap.
I can get number 5 in college. I can
You are
see
full of crap.
I can see Reggie Bush wearing number 5 in college. I don't want to see a running back wear not.
Why?
Matter
Do
of
you
fact,
smell that?
matter of fact,
Smells like up dog.
matter of
It
fact,
smells like a
I
big pile of
wish-
turds coming out of Buck's mouth.
You guys are absolutely ridiculous. Actually, I wish they would ban all single-digit numbers. Period. Like I dislike them.
I
Dislike
just wish they would
seven
ban you from having camera. Oh wait, you don't have a
quarterbacks can
camera
still
on.
wear low numbers. Russell Wilson looks great in 3. Like quarterbacks can still wear low numbers.
But does Russell Wilson play great number 3 after week 9 of the NFL season?
Oh my god.
Man. So Tori Anderson wants to come out and say you are missing the biggest point with it with the numbers being retired and so forth, expands the number of pools that they can wear. Okay, Tori, let me ask you this question. Are the Green Bay Packers retiring 18 quarterbacks? No.
Probably.
No, they're not. They're
At this
right,
point,
right now they have 5.
I don't know.
If a single quarterback can't find a number like 14 days worth, sorry, how many linemen had the Packers retired? Absolutely 0, right? How about receivers? 1. Like seriously, there are plenty of numbers to choose. There's plenty of numbers to choose from. So stop with that crap, Tori. And if you want to play that card, why not just go ahead and put -0 up on the board too? Like, hey, you guys can wear -0 now too.
You guys can wear negative numbers. Can you imagine? Oh my god.
Hashtag Buck kicks dogs and steals babies' candies.
So fun fact is I did kick my dog earlier today because he stole my baby's candy.
What?
So
what the?
yeah.
Boom.
I'm buying you a Michael Vick jersey.
So
Canceled.
Penny says the only single digit should be worn is by
He wore
kickers.
number 7.
There you go. That's facts.
Why? Michael Vick wore
No,
number 7.
Nana. Lamar Jackson's number 8. Don't say that.
Look at Kyler.
She sees
Kyler
trash when she
Murray
sees
is
it.
wearing number. Kyler
Nana
Murray is
loves
wearing
Lamar
number
Jackson.
1.
I don't know, guys. I'm just saying this is stupid. It's stupid.
So
Why
what's
change
stupid
it?
is that strike called 3 on Jock Peterson that frickin' was in the batter's box and almost hit him in the knee.
What's stupid is your TV service, Combs. I'm in the middle of nowhere and don't have Wi-Fi in my house, and I already know Javi Baez is at the plate batting.
He just got ball 1.
All right, guys. We are going to
Why,
take
it's
a
like
quick
it's a
little
3-2
break.
count.
On the other side of the break, we have the infamous Would You Rather, sponsored by Thrive Fantasy. Head over to thrivefantasy.com. Use promo code MANHOUR, and they'll match up to $50 on your first $50 deposit. That is thrivefantasy.com, promo code MANHOUR. You can also download this on iOS and Android devices as well. thrivefantasy.com, promo code MANHOUR. We'll be right back after this.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.
And we are back here on Man Hour, and it is time for my favorite time of the week because I get to mess with the boys a little bit here in Would You Rather. However, this week I kind of kept it a little tame. So, boys, are you ready?
We are always ready, Combs.
Born ready.
No, Buck, you're never ready. You just say stupid stuff and pretend like you're ready. Fair enough.
All
All right. So,
My first what of the night goes out to Brandon Combs.
too bad it's not what does. Anyway,
It's not Wednesday.
Well, it is
would
on
you
Vegas.
rather, in honor of all of our talk about instant replay, would you rather make a bad call that replay corrects, or make a good call that replay screws up?
I would rather make a good call that replay screws up because then I'm right. I mean, it sounds kind of selfish. But at the end of the day, I can be like, hey, whenever it comes, at the end of the year, whenever, they're doing all the promotions and all that good stuff, and I'm like, hey, that guy sitting in New York that's making double what I am. Yeah, I would love to have that job, and I actually made more correct calls than he did, so you should increase my pay. No, that's that.
Wow.
Yeah, I would definitely rather make a good call that they screwed up because I can always say at least I made the right call.
So, Wyatt, let me ask you this question: who gets the final call? Is it the ref on the field or the replay official?
Like, who do I want to, or who does?
No, who does? Who gets the final call?
the person up in the
replay official, right?
The replay, yeah.
So therefore, even though you quote made a correct call, it's still wrong because the replay official overturned it and he gets the right call. So therefore, I would rather make a bad call and then have it overturned simply so the right call is made in the end. So I'm picking bad call. I would rather make a bad call and have it reversed in the replay.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I'm with you, Buck. I'd rather make a bad call that replay corrects, because I'd hate to be on the end of a good call that replay screws up, and then I have to explain why the call was overturned, because then I have to defend replay. Like, as an official, as an umpire, you can't go.
Replay.
You have to,
Yeah, you
because
have
you
to.
can't go against it. They'll
Throw it to the
fine you.
rules.
They will not. I'm telling you. So I would not like to defend a play that replay screws up. So
100%.
that's just me. All right. So next one, staying with umpires.
Would you rather?
Would you rather be a Major League Baseball umpire or an NFL referee?
NFL referee. That would be, I mean, you know, either would be cool to get that opportunity, but I mean, God, NFL referee would be so awesome. You could see like guys like, you know, Patrick Mahomes right up and close in front of you, you know, doing the, you know, the game they love. Plus, I feel like all MLB refs, or I mean, not refs, umpires, am I like a home plate umpire? Is that what we're talking about here?
Well, you will rotate.
Any umpire, yeah, you rotate.
Yeah, I feel like that hurt my back leaning over like that the whole game for 9
my
innings.
God.
So I'm going NFL here.
You are 18.
You're right, and I want my back to be good when I'm your age, Combs. If I
Yeah.
did it till I was your age, my back would be broken.
Wyatt is used to being on his knees for blowing those games, but we'll go ahead and move past that point there. But correct me if
Right.
I'm wrong, Combs.
Games.
But I believe NFL referees are actually only classified as part-time employees. So like that was
Yeah.
one of the biggest strikes that they had on, was this fact that they were getting full-time benefits from the NFL. So if I'm not a full-time employee, I would much rather be a Major League Baseball rep, because they are full-time employees, because they're working like 9 months out of the season, and then you get a nice little break, and then you come back and do it all over again. So you get to experience nice weather all the time. Like I'm not worried about playing in the snow or the rain, or sorry, like umpiring in the rain or like or the snow. I get to have like civilized conversations with these players from all over the world. I get to have a personal relationship as well, just like as well. Give me a Major League umpire all day long.
Yeah, I look, for me, it's Major League Baseball umpire too. And the reason's simple: NFL refs don't have a union. Major League Baseball umps do have a union. They have somebody that goes to bat for them. They have somebody that, you know, gets them everything that they need. They have all of the stuff handed to them, and they get paid really well. And again, it's a full-time job. They pay you enough that when you're in the off season, you don't have to work. Unlike NFL referees. Not only that, but I'm not having, as a Major League Baseball ump, I'm not having to run up and down the field chasing the players as they are running big plays.
Right.
If
That's
a
right. I
big
didn't
play
think about
happens
that.
in Major League Baseball, I watch the ball leave the yard. I turn around. If the ball gets hit down the line, I turn around and watch the fielder grab it. That's so I'm going Major League Baseball player or Major League Baseball ump all day long.
So just to add some points there, Combs, before we move on to the next one here, so this is straight from Google here. Shout out to Google. Like, I know Drew loves Google.com, so Gmail, YouTube, all that stuff. But so the NFL referees are not classified as full-time employees because they don't get any days off, company insurance, or retirement plans through the NFL. However, they do make $205,000 a season.
They have a union.
Right.
MLB hands down, I could have a random moving strike zone and collect a check.
Right.
It's true. It's true.
Next one.
All right. So here's the next one. Would you rather hit a walk-off home run in Game 7 of the World Series
Ooh, that's legendary.
or kick a field goal, not a game-winning field goal, just a field goal, in the first quarter of a Super Bowl loss?
Well, if anybody chooses football on this one, I'm going to drive to Chicago, Combs, or drive to Sellersburg, Indiana, Buck, and smack you in the face. Of course, I would rather hit the game-winning walk-off home run in the World Series. Are you kidding me? You go down in history for that. If I kick a field goal in a Super Bowl loss, people won't remember who I am. And now if we were talking about a kick that was the Super Bowl win, then we could possibly debate it. But first quarter Super Bowl loss, field goal, no way. Give me the Game 7, 3-2. I'm going to say bases loaded. We're down by 3, and I grand slam it out of here. Game 7, gangster style, bat flip, wave to my mama
Jesus
while I cross home plate, walk backwards down the baseline, and then kiss home plate when I get there. Thank you.
The way you said gangster
Gangsta.
made you sound the least gangster I've ever heard in my entire life.
Gangsta.
So was it Game 7 in the World Series or just the World Series in general?
Game 7.
Game 7.
Oh man.
However, I mean, the problem is like, first of all, hitting a home run is probably the hardest thing to do in all sports, right? So, I mean, just hitting a home run in general is very, very
Hitting a baseball. Period.
Hitting a baseball is the hardest thing to do in sports.
well. Then hitting a home run would be twice as hard, right? Because you got to do everything right, hit the baseball. But man, kicking the field goal is like as hard too. Like I was down on the field just the other day kicking PATs, and I could barely get it up over the line.
I can't do it to save my life.
So with that being said, first things first, kicking a field goal is pretty amazing thing. Like let's just be honest, kicking a field goal in a Super Bowl,
Fuck, dude, don't
you
do
making
this,
it.
dude.
Give me the field goal.
No. There is a clear right and wrong answer here.
Yeah.
Like it is so
All right.
like right and wrong here. It's like it's not even funny.
So Wyatt says he would hit a walk-off home run in Game 7 of the World Series. Buck says he would kick a field goal in a Super Bowl loss. I would kick a field goal in a Super Bowl loss as
Stop
well.
it.
It's the
Stop
Super
it.
Bowl.
You're lying. You're
There's only
lying.
one
You're
game
lying.
of that. Yeah, of course
don't
I'm
believe you.
lying. It's to hit a
I don't
home run
believe
all
you.
day long.
I don't believe
I'm bat
you.
flipping. I'm rounding the bases twice. Like,
Col-
yeah, of
Combs
course
would-
it's a home run in Game 7 of the World Series.
Combs would take a game-winning walk-off in his 40-year-old softball league over kicking a field goal in the first quarter of a Super Bowl loss. I knew you
He's
were
not
lying. As soon
wrong.
as you said
He's-
that, I was
he's
like,
not
you're
wrong.
a liar.
So
He's not wrong.
do you guys mind if I flash back to the whole umpire and NFL referee thing real quick here?
Yeah.
So the Major League umpires only make $120,000 a season, while the NFL refs make $205,000. So if you are all about money and Benjamins and stuff like that, I mean, the NFL ref is kind of the way to go. Because let's be honest, you're only working 17 games a year. Well, actually, probably only 16.
One day a week.
One day a week, and you're making almost $100,000 more than a Major League Baseball ref that's out there
Jeez.
162
And-
games.
Oh my God, that's like you do 16 games all year, maybe 17 depending. Oh yeah, you'll probably do 17 because I don't think refs get a bye week. Whoops. Then, so you do like a fraction of the games. Yeah.
Right.
Jeez.
So let me ask you guys this then: if I change that last one, would rather hit a walk-off in a home run in Game 7 of the World Series or score a touchdown in a Super Bowl loss? Does that change your opinion at all?
No.
It depends if that Super Bowl or like if that touchdown catch puts me into that into that incentive pay.
Buck, a walk-off World Series win puts you into the incentive pay without even questioning it.
How?
Like
How?
Not
right
to
there,
mention,
$200
baseball
million.
players get paid way more than football players.
Right. So
There's no
but I'm-
salary cap.
Yeah, but I'm also
Yeah.
saying though, like if that one
Well,
NFL
there's a luxury
catch
tax.
gives you five more million dollars, I'm taking the touchdown pass.
All right.
No, speaking of luxury tax, fun fact real quick. I promise I'll be quick so we can move on. Kelly Oubre, right now, okay, with his $14 million contract, puts the Warriors 82, it makes them over their luxury tax limit and makes their luxury tax $82 million more than if he wasn't on the team. So he costs the team $82 million in luxury tax because he's on the team. That's crazy. Kelly Oubre.
Your Nana called you out.
Of course she did. Yikes.
Yeah, Wyatt, you are definitely not an OG.
Gangsta.
All right. So last one here,
Gangnam
guys.
Style.
We all saw the the
You say
Masters.
Gangnam Style.
God.
That's what
We
I
all
thought
saw
you said earlier.
Matsuyama win the Masters
Yep.
this weekend. and he's the first Japanese player to ever win the Masters. And golf is huge in Japan. Did you know Japan, other than the United States, has the second most golf courses in a country? It's Japan.
That's saying
Wow,
that
and
since
it's
they're
like it's not anywhere
Yeah,
close to the
it's
size
not
of
even
the
that
US.
big either. Yeah.
Yeah.
size of
Wow.
Texas,
So-
isn't it?
No, it's
Would
pretty
you
smaller than
rather
Texas.
be the first ever to do something in a sport or break an unbreakable record?
I'd rather be the first one to do something in a sport or break an unbreakable record. So if I break an unbreakable record, then it's breakable.
Well, so let's say like everybody says right now, so because of the way the game's changed, nobody's ever going to touch Ricky Henderson's, 100 and whatever it was stolen bases in the season. 180.
Well, first off, I am too fat and slow to steal one base in a
right,
baseball
or the
game.
home run record, or the strikeout record, or whatever the case is.
Ooh,
All those
yeah.
unbreakable records.
Yeah.
Or would you rather be the first one to do something in a sport?
I'd rather be the first one to ever call a game while playing in the game. There you go. How about the 8? 8, that's a first.
You are the worst politically correct person ever. Pick a side. Wyatt.
It's
Ever.
Is it wrong?
Ever.
It is wrong because that would never happen. You're
Yes,
you're like,
never.
You never know.
Not once, ever.
You're like, hey, I'm going to go G right 56 toss here, and look at me running down the field.
Oh,
I'm
wait. Hey,
running
how'd
down the
they know what
field.
I was doing?
Oh, I had no idea. Hey, I'm like Tony Romo. I can predict the plays. Oh, because I called the plays. Awesome. Yay. Come on, man. Sheesh.
That'd be pretty legendary if you think about it, though.
It would be
It
pretty
would be
ridiculously
horrible.
stupid. Yeah, like I would rather.
They
I
tried
would
that. You
rather
know what
watch
it was
soccer.
called, Wyatt? It was called the Fan Controlled Football League.
Yeah.
It didn't work out too well.
Horrible.
It's like the XFL.
So Wyatt is not going to pick an answer here. So with that,
I did.
No, you didn't. You didn't pick neither of them.
No, you came up with your own answer.
I said I'd rather be the first to do something. I'll be the first person to call a game while playing in it. That's
So-
the first.
Oh, okay. So he did technically do something that's never going to happen, but let's go ahead and move past that, Combs.
So it's an unbreakable record as well. I did both.
Wow. Wyatt,
about it.
2024 president here, guys. With that being said, Combs, like I
wouldn't vote for him.
I want to break a unbreakable record just because like my name will always be edged every time something like that comes up. Like just for example, every time the Patriots go 15-0 or 14-0, the 82 Dolphins could come up with 85 Dolphins, or I don't even know what year it is now, and like their names always come up, and they're always popping champagne after like
I think it was in the 70s, wasn't it?
I can't even remember anymore, but I absolutely hate
remember.
them. But like, yeah, give me a unbreakable record simply because of the fact that you will always be remembered until it is broken.
72.
I would rather be the first ever to do something in a sport because not only are you nobody had ever done it before, and you did it. So nobody will ever be the first person to ever do it ever again. It was you. You're the first. Somebody might come and you broke a record, and then somebody
Well,
might
what
come
is
and
it
break
then?
your record.
What would you do?
I just said I would rather be the first ever to do something in a sport.
But what? What are you going to do that's the first ever? I gave an example. I'm just saying,
I'd like to be the first one to hit a hole-in-one from the moon, make it go round in orbit, and land on Earth, and just go right into the cup.
That would be pretty spectacular. And
yeah, and it's
that would
it's
be
about
never
as
breakable
fathomable
either.
as yours is.
That is kind of true as well, but that would also be an unbreakable record too. So technically, you chose both here as well, Combs.
How would it be an unbreakable record?
No,
Like,
I
what is the
chose to
record
be the
about?
first one in the sport to ever do something because nobody else would ever be the first in a sport to do it. Like if with Matsuyama, there is never going to be another first Japanese player to win the Masters. Ever. It can't be topped. But if I break the home run record and I break or let's say I break Cy Young's record for 711, complete games, and then somebody else comes out, 400 years later and throws 800 complete games and breaks my record, then my record's broken. I'm not the record holder anymore. But I am still the first person to ever do something in a sport. That's why I would be the first person to ever do something in a sport over breaking an unbreakable record. See why? That's how you answer something, son.
I answered it well.
Nobody asked you. Let's go to break.
Actually, you did kind of ask him a little bit. Like,
No, I didn't.
That's how that like that. That's
It
how
was
you
a
do it.
statement.
All right, guys, we're going to take a quick break here on the Man Hour. On the other side of the break here, we got the infamous Liar Liar. It is brought to you by Thrive Fantasy. Head over to thrivefantasy.com. Use promo code MANHOUR. Match up to $50 on your first deposit. We'll be right back after this word from some music sponsors. We out.
Liar, liar. What is up, Man Hour Nation? It is time for the Liar Liar. That the greatest pitcher of all time, Trevor Bauer. You know, it is a segment we include him on, as well as Buck and Combs. They're in it too. So speaking of, I'll bring them on. Trevor is not here tonight, but he's here in spirit, of course. Like every time we play
Isn't he trying to figure out why his balls are illegal?
No comment. But
They are
anyways,
illegal because he's married and then he was found in ex's person's. No, I'm just kidding.
I was talking about his baseballs though.
anyways,
X-rated.
everybody knows the rules. 2 points wins it. We will start off with Buck, who got our last win. I believe Buck is winning right now.
1-0, baby. 1-0.
1-1 because Trevor won 1, didn't he?
No, he didn't. Trevor doesn't count.
No.
I thought so.
Yeah,
Anyways.
yeah, he did.
But anyways, yeah.
It's 1-1-0.
All right. Well, so with that being said, Buck, nope, we're going the other way. Combs, you're starting it off tonight because you're the one without a point. So,
But I won
Combs,
it.
you're starting us off.
But
tonight.
I won it.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So,
Okay,
I make
Jerry
the
Springer.
rules here.
You are ridiculous.
I'm whipping this mule. You're just holding its head. Okay, so here we go. First
What
one
is
here.
going on with donkeys?
That is very weird. I've been to Tijuana. You don't want to smack a donkey.
No, you do not.
First one here is the speaking of the Masters, everything going on with the Masters. First Japanese player to ever win it. Golf is very big in Japan, as Combs discussed on the last segment 4 break. But anyways, or Buck discussed that. My bad. But anyways, the Japanese carry hole-in-one insurance. So basically, in Japan, I got to explain this a little bit. Basically, in Japan, like if somebody hits a hole-in-one, everybody has to give them money and stuff. There's some kind of a thing you got to give them money, right? So golfers will carry hole-in-one insurance so that way they can afford to give up these gifts.
So
okay?
everybody on the court or everybody that's playing in the group?
Yes.
Or
yes.
Okay.
So they carry hole-in-one insurance. Okay. Second one, the record for a mini marathon is 39 minutes. 39 minutes. And the third and final one, the Stanley Cup has been broken or damaged over 100 times. Combs, we're starting off with you, sir.
Wow, this is a tough one. I was almost sure that it was the Japanese golfers carrying insurance because I've heard of this before. I know American golfers do it too. If you get a hole in one, me and my buddies do it. It's part of golf. Man, Stanley Cup. What was the second one more time?
Yeah, the second one was mini marathon is the record.
39 minutes
for a mini marathon is 39 minutes.
I'm gonna go with the Stanley Cup has been damaged over 100 times. Those guys, man, they get drunk by drinking out of it. They carry it around on skates. They've had to have repaired that thing a ton of times. So I'm gonna go with the Stanley Cup one.
Yeah, and I was going with the Stanley Cup one, like that was what my gut was telling me because first things first, I think a mini marathon is like 14 miles long or so. So you're looking like a 3 minute mile for a long time, and I think the fastest mile ever is only like 5 minutes or 4 minutes and 20 seconds or something to that effect. So with that being said, by process of elimination, I got to go with the hole-in-one insurance.
All right, so with that being said, starting off the night, 1-0-0. Mr. Buck Nasty, baby. That is Buck winning that one. So basically explaining it here, By tradition, a hole-in-one is believed to be a stroke of good fortune, and as such, the person should reciprocate to those around them in order to not have misfortune in the future. The golfer is expected to celebrate their feat by buying drinks, food, and gifts for all of their golfing buddies, which can end up costing them a lot of money, upwards of 10,000 US dollars. And this is where the hole-in-one insurance comes in to play. So $10,000. I'm sorry to all my friends if I go golfing with you and I hit a hole-in-one. I will not be spending $10,000 on you.
That is rough.
We can go to a
Anderson
local.
said he got one and ended up with a $249 tab.
So hey, question: Can we?
So wait, the guy who hits the hole in run has to pay for?
Yeah.
What?
So hey, so why don't we all go golfing? I'll get hole-in-one insurance, make that claim, and we all eat for free for a week and a half.
Because you'll do what you're doing here on the show. You're behind me.
true.
There's nobody here to see you looking up answers. There's nobody here to see you Googling stuff to see if it's true. So what you would do is you'd be like, hey guys, go look. And then we turn our heads real quick, and then you'd put the ball in the hole.
No. Like, I would do it to help everybody out, not to cheat.
Ginger with ginger skin.
I mean, it would help everybody out. I mean, I like to drink free.
Yeah.
All right. With that being said, we're moving on now. Buck, you'll start off this one. And you have a 1-0 lead at the moment. So with that being said, we'll get started here. In 1934, Babe Ruth paid a fan $200 to return his 700th home run ball. Okay. Next, MJ once wore the number 54 after his 23 jersey was stolen in Orlando. All right. And the third one, kind of going with another MJ theme here. Michael Jordan makes more than all of the Nike employees in Malaysia combined.
Well, first things first is we know those Malaysia guys are making 50 cents an hour, if that.
Way to give him a softball here, Wyatt.
Yeah, so 54, I mean, that's Horace Grant's number, so that's not going to happen. And I don't think Babe Ruth hit 700 home runs, right, Combs?
Oh, my God, Buck. Yes, he...
I'm going with Michael Jordan makes more money than the people over in Malaysia.
He should lose just because he didn't know Babe Ruth was the home run king with 714 home runs before Hank Aaron broke the record with number 715. How did...
Might be stripping a point here and being 0-0-0 again. Not sure. We'll have to take this one to the replay booth up in New York.
I'm going with the Babe Ruth one because I think Buck's right, and I like Babe Ruth. And I know that it wasn't 54. When his jersey got stolen, I believe he wore it different. It wasn't 54, though.
45.
It was 14. You are correct on that.
It was 14.
It was 14. So, with that being said, we do have a winner tonight of the two of you. And starting the night off 2-0-0, that is Buck Nasty.
Yeah, because you threw him a softball.
All of them actually.
Here, Buck,
in 1934.
go first.
There is some truth to the Babe Ruth one.
Let's see. The number one on the McDonald's menu is the Big Mac.
Not here. It's chicken strips.
That's true. No, I'm just kidding. No, it's not. Anyways, in 1934, Babe Ruth paid a fan $20 to return his 700th home run ball. So I increased the money there a little bit. Changed up the MJ one because I knew that was kind of a softball, but I also wanted to make it more difficult. But with that being said, it is super close. I'm not sure what the exact dollar amount is, but I know it's within $1,000. If you combine everyone's pay, it's close to Michael Jordan's. But still, that's pretty crazy that the people in Malaysia make more or less combined than MJ. It's kind of sad, honestly. But anyways, next,
yeah, especially
moving
since
on.
They're all 6 and under.
That's true. But anyways, next we've got Combs kicking it off here, and it will be.
If this is another tough one, I'm not talking to you anymore, Wyatt.
It takes 5,000 cows to supply the NFL with enough leather for footballs for the entire season. Okay. Next, the household wrench was invented by an NFL player back in the 1920s. Okay. Third and finally, Pittsburgh is the only city in America that all of their pro sports teams are the same color.
Man. So they call it a pigskin, so I'm pretty sure it's not cows that make a football. I'm going to go with... What was the last one? One more time.
Yeah, the last one. Pittsburgh is the only city in America that all of their pro teams are the same color.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with that one. I'm gonna go with the Pittsburgh one.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, Combs. I was sitting here thinking, and just like I was trying to think of like all the major cities, and like none of them match anymore. So like I think you are right, but I'm gonna go with what was the second one again? Not the cow one, but the other NFL one.
The household wrench was invented by an NFL player.
I'm gonna go with that one just simply because they did work like a blue collar job back in the day. Like football was kind of just like a pastime.
All right, everybody locked in?
Yep.
Yes.
The answer is the answer
Better go ahead.
And we
and
just
is
got
the only
copyrighted.
city.
And we just got copyrighted
Thanks,
and kicked
Wyatt.
off YouTube. Thanks, Wyatt.
Jeez.
really
Anyways,
3 times in 1 week you get us kicked off of the Man Out. Like,
you know what? Anyway,
you just don't want this to go on, or what?
So, I'm gonna explain this.
April Fool's joke again, but this time it's real.
It takes 3,000 cows to supply the NFL with enough leather.
Then why
for
do they
footballs
call
for
it a
an entire
pigskin?
season.
Because it used to be
I don't
made out of
know.
pig. Used to be made out of pig back in the day.
I'm
It's not
calling. You know
anymore,
what? False advertisement. I'm suing the
Also,
NFL.
the household wrench was invented by a pro boxer. I believe it was Jack Johnson. Back in the 1920s, the household wrench was. So, cool little sports fun fact. But anyways, next moving on, we got a 2-1-0 game. Trevor Bauer, of course, not having any points tonight. Very disappointing. Kind of like his pitching status recently, 0. But anyways, with that being said, Buck, you'll take over this one starting off. So
And I'll win the game.
here we go. You know, I already mentioned his name earlier, but we're going to mention it again. And that is Babe Ruth used to keep a cabbage leaf under his baseball hat to keep him cool. Okay. Next, MJ was ranked number 1 as a pitcher in North Carolina when he was in high school. He was the number 1 ranked pitcher. Couldn't bat worth a crap, but he was ranked number 1. Anyways, next is the state sport of Delaware is jousting. So Delaware, a very odd state. It's jousting. So which one is it, Buck? Is it Babe Ruth? Cabbage leaf under his baseball cap? MJ ranked number 1 pitcher in North Carolina while he was in high school? Or is it the state sport of Delaware is jousting?
So first things first is I don't think Babe Ruth really cared about staying cool because he was always so drunk and smoking cigars on the bench. Anyways, he didn't really care how cool he was. Let's just be flat honest about that. No, but jousting in Delaware kind of makes sense because jousting is a rich person sport, and that's kind of where like a lot of rich folk live there. Michael Jordan played outfield, if I'm not mistaken, in major leagues, but that doesn't mean anything. Why not? Michael Jordan was a top-rated pitcher in North Carolina.
Yeah, that's the one I actually was gonna go with. I because he loved baseball. It was his first love. He wasn't even going to play basketball.
Yeah.
Until his dad talked him into it. So, I'm gonna go with the Babe Ruth one, wearing cabbage under his hat.
All right, everybody locked in. Final answers? Nobody wants to switch to Delaware?
No, because who jousts besides rich folk, Wyatt?
I didn't even know jousting was rich folk stuff. So I didn't know. I also didn't know that rich people lived in Delaware. Puck. Why did you come up with that? But anyways, with that being said, we've got a 2-2 tied up score with the comeback. BC. Yes, sir. So Babe Ruth used to keep a cabbage leaf under his baseball cap to keep him cool. He would switch it out every 2 innings to make sure that he was always, good and cool, not overheating. MJ was not ranked number 1, but he was one of the higher ranked pitchers. He was not ranked number 1 though. So that was the lie. And then the state sport of Maryland is jousting, so not Delaware.
It's a rich person sport, like I said. Maryland's where rich folk live too.
So next, we've got Combs. You start this one off too, don't you?
Yes, sir.
Right. All right. So with the possible comeback here, we'll see what he does with it. We'll see. So 3 strikes in bowling is a turkey. All right. 3 turkeys is called a chicken. Okay. Next, pro table pro table tennis players, the ball is hit off the paddle at 80 miles per hour, back and forth, okay? And then next, when a Formula One car drives at 120 miles per hour, it generates so much downforce that it could drive on the roof of a tunnel. So we've got 3 strikes is a turkey, 3 turkeys is called a chicken. Then we've got pro table tennis players hit the ball off the paddle at 80 miles per hour. And then when a Formula One car drives at 120 miles per hour, it generates so much downforce it could drive on the roof of a tunnel. BC, pressure's on. You've brought it back. We're tied up at 2-2. We'll see what he does here, ladies and gents.
I know for a fact that it's not the 3 strikes, not the 3 turkeys is a chicken. I can't remember what the name is, but I know it's not chicken.
It's called a rooster.
Turducken. And then, I really want, to say that I think it's the Formula One race car. It generates enough downforce to drive on the roof of a tunnel.
Okay.
Because I think the other one is, what was the second one more time?
It would be pro table tennis players. The ball is hit off their paddle at 80 mile an hour. You ever seen those balls hit? It's fast.
I know, man. They are fast. But I feel like they hit them harder than that. I feel like 80 miles an hour is kind of dumbed down a little bit. So, I'm gonna go with the Formula One car generates enough downforce to drive on the roof of a tunnel.
Okay, so fun fact is my uncle Ace actually has a PBA card, and I know for a fact that 9 strikes in a row is called a 9-bagger. Anything over a turkey is a 4-bagger, 5-bagger, etc. So
he's Googling all of this. You know that, right?
No, I'm not. So, but tennis players, they hit the ball, 110 to 100 mile an hour, like on their serve. So I wouldn't 80 mile an hour seems plausible. So I'm going to go with that one.
All right. So with that being said, Trevor Bauer is not going to win tonight. We do have a winner between the two of you. And with that being said, with the comeback win, BC Combs wins it. It is true that a Formula One car generates enough speed at 120 miles per hour that it has enough downforce that it could drive on the roof of a tunnel. BC wins it tonight. But so 3 strikes in bowling is a turkey. 3 strikes, 3 turkeys is called. I have no clue. I made that up.
It's a 9-bagger.
And then
I'm telling you.
pro table tennis players hit the ball off the paddle at 120 miles per hour.
Wow.
On average.
That's
so
crazy.
Combs actually said that was correct. He said that it was that 80 mile an hour was dumbed down a little bit. That Combs was pretty good, man.
I'm a pretty smart guy sometimes.
So, funny thing is, the freaking ping pong balls, when you step on them, they crush. But yeah, you can hit it with making go 120 mile an hour. Come on, that is ridiculous.
Exactly.
That is
How does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's wild. But yeah, that is liar for the night tonight. BC ties us up at 1-1.
Combs, I'll give you
a comeback too.
Yeah, I mean, you get a walk-off grand slam. How do you feel?
I feel like I should have kicked a field goal.
Yeah, should have. All right, guys, we'll be right back here on the Man Hour. We got Mock Draft 3.0, Wyatt Williams style, coming up here on the Man Hour. He does have Kevin King going number 1 overall in this year's draft as well. We'll be right back, guys, here on the Man Hour. Stay tuned. And welcome back to the Man Hour, guys. Michael Buckheim along with Brandon Combs and Wyatt Williams here. If you guys missed any part of the show whatsoever, you can find us on iTunes, Spotify, and iHeartRadio as well. You can download a podcast form there, or you can head over to manhourradio.com, click on the podcast link there, and it'll be uploaded there shortly after this show is up and over with. So, Wyatt and Combs, let's go. We'll bring you guys back on screen here. And during break, Cindy just sent me a Snapchat. And apparently, guys, there is Wheel of Fortune on Netflix now. So now you can binge watch 28 seasons of Wheel of Fortune on Netflix. So if you guys are a Wheel of Fortune nut there, go ahead and head over to Netflix and watch some Wheel of Fortune.
I know what my next what the is.
Yeah, so with that being said, speaking of what does, why the draft is just 2 weeks away, man. Like, we are getting close. We are getting ground to the nit and greedy. A couple weeks ago, the San Francisco 49ers made a huge trade to move up to the number 3 slot, which shaking up mock drafts all over the board. So let's go ahead and talk about your mock draft here. This is the third version of it here, and I think your number 1 pick has pretty much been the same from here on out. So who do you have coming in at number 1?
Yeah. So it's the same for everybody, really. You know, when you look at all mock drafts across everywhere, there wasn't any debate there. If you were to go to a lab and build a prototypical quarterback, you would have built the guy who just got married this weekend. By the way, congratulations to him. That is Trevor Lawrence, quarterback of Clemson, and he's headed to Jacksonville. I mean, he's got the football IQ. He's got the body that you want as a quarterback, tall. He's got the arm, 100% the arms there. He's athletic as crap, can take off and run if he needs to. He's, like I said, he's everything you would want in a quarterback. You know, I do agree with Combs. There is a slight chance of a bust here.
There's no slight chance.
It's a huge chance.
There is a largest chance of it because of where he lands. Now, we'll see how Urban Meyer gets down there. We'll see what he does with this program. We'll see what he does, and then we'll go from there. But, you know, at the moment, I've got my issues with him going to Jacksonville. I think if he goes really, you know, to many of the other teams here, that there will be some serious success. I think he's an incredibly talented guy. But the biggest problem is where he lands is where he's going to get most of the issues.
So let me throw some red flags to you here, Wyatt. Yes, so first things first is, yes, many of the top 3 or 4 teams give out their playbooks to potential draft picks, right? Like they give the quarterback their playbook just to look at it, see how they'll fit, see what changes they would make, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. However, the Jacksonville Jaguars have not given Trevor Lawrence a playbook yet. They have given Zach Wilson a playbook. So do you want to look into that as much as you can? You can. I am. Maybe Zach Wilson is going to go number 1 to the Jacksonville Jaguars, or the Jaguars are looking to trade out of that number 1 pick.
If Jacksonville takes a quarterback not named Trevor Lawrence, if Jacksonville takes anybody other than Trevor Lawrence,
it will be the issue. Just throwing it out there.
Well, that not in the first round, not at the first overall pick.
They still drafted him.
I mean, totally different. It was like in the 5th round, wasn't it?
Mustache ever.
He's a beast. Okay, Gardner Minshew gets too much hate. Minshew magic, baby. I'm all for it.
I like Minshew.
I hope he kicks a sofa every time he wakes up.
Why do you hate Minshew?
2 words.
I hope he gets the hiccups all day long.
Yeah, exactly. I hope he gets the hiccups and he kicks the couch every day. Do you want to know why?
Why?
On and off the field. That's all.
What?
Inside joke. On and off the field.
Huh. Okay.
Dylan Ryan.
Okay. Yeah.
Moving on.
Anyway,
big Minshew guy. He was.
Yeah.
So that first pick, not debatable whatsoever. I mean, everybody.
Zach Wilson.
I promise you, Zach Wilson's not going there. But speaking of Zach Wilson, with the 2nd overall pick, I've got the New York Jets taking Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson, who had a awesome pro day, a guy who showcased a really good arm. You know, once again, I understand there was not DBs there. There was not an NFL defense in his face. But he had a much better pro day than Mac Jones, who didn't have a defense in his face and looked like absolute garbage. I think I probably could have had a better pro day than Mac Jones. We'll get to Mac Jones here in a little bit. Right now, we're talking about Zach Wilson, who was at BYU. Just a great quarterback. I love watching the tape. He puts the ball where he wants to at all times. I get it. Daddy's got a lot of money, and that has shown that over time NFL players have shown that that can affect the way they play. But daddy's money doesn't make you a top player in college football. It gets you to a program possibly, but daddy's money doesn't read defenses. Daddy's money doesn't throw the ball. Zach Wilson throws the ball. Zach Wilson reads the defense. He steps up in the pocket with incredible football IQ. His awareness is 100% there. He is right now, I think, possibly going to be the best quarterback out of this draft depending on where everybody else goes, depending on how Trevor Lawrence does in Jacksonville, we could definitely see Zach Wilson being the top quarterback out of this draft.
Combs, any thoughts about that?
Yeah, I wonder why you go away from Penei Sewell.
Well, the reason is because they traded away
they got rid of their quarterback.
Yeah,
they got to get a quarterback. That's
yeah.
And they told the 49ers released something. So the 49ers went pick by pick. They offered to trade for the first pick with Jacksonville. They said no way. We love who's there, which literally says Trevor Lawrence is going at that first pick. They also talked to the Jets. The Jets said no, we like who's at the second pick, and hinted at Zach Wilson. So, there is no way that after them, especially them trading away Sam Darnold, they have said no matter what, there's a quarterback going there, whether if it is Justin Fields or Zach Wilson. I don't think it's Mac Jones.
Justin Fields. God. That would be a typical Jets thing to do, though, is to take a guy like Justin Fields that's number 2 pick and pass up on Zach Wilson. So it wouldn't surprise me if that happens. I don't know. Like, I really like Penei Sewell. It stinks for him that his draft stock drops because of, needs of teams. But, yeah, I mean, I guess Zach Wilson at number 2, like, I don't really have a problem with it. I just, I think maybe... I don't know. Maybe they can find their guy later in the draft. I mean, maybe. What if you took Penei Sewell in the first round and took Kellen Mond in the second round?
You could do that, but that's a big if. Kellen Mond.
I like Kellen Mond more than I like Justin Fields.
I don't know about that just yet. I got to see him on the field to before I judge that. But Kellen Mond is one of those guys that we could legitimately see go at the end of the first round or in the 6th round. Like, there is such a big hop, skip, and a jump for him. And if you've already got that second pick and Zach Wilson's your guy, you've got to get a quarterback right then. Offensive tackle is such a important need for a team. And Penei Sewell is the best tackle. It's the best offensive lineman in this draft. And it's not close, I think. But it's not as important as quarterback is to the Jets right now because they got rid of Darnold. They literally do not have a guy in the quarterback room right now. That them getting rid of Darnold.
They've drafted like 10 quarterbacks in the last 15 years.
Well, Pennington's not going to do it. I can promise you that. Pennington? What was his name? Out of Penn State.
Chad Pennington? No, he was out of Michigan.
No, it wasn't Chad Pennington. It was I don't remember his name.
There's no Pennington on the Jets roster, so their quarterbacks right now are James Morgan and Mike White, which I don't know any of those guys.
No.
So I do think that Mr. BYU himself, Zach Wilson, will go number 2 overall, but I don't think the Jets are going to be sitting there, Wyatt. Like, I think the Jets are in a mindset that they do like their offensive linemen, just like what Combs has been saying. The guy from Oregon, right? Combs, like that's where he's from.
Yeah.
Penei Sewell is
yeah. Oh yeah. Penei Sewell's from Oregon.
Yeah. So one quarterback that the Patriots have been linked to is Mac Jones, and rumor has it that Mac Jones is going to the 49ers now. So what would it be to a Patriots move? Just because like they are doing the exact opposite of what they normally do. Normally they trade out of the first round to get a bunch of second, third, fourth round picks. They don't.
They're going to trade out of the first round again this year. And next year, and the year after that, and the year after that, and they're going to get Aaron Rodgers.
I think they trade up to the number 2 pick and get Mac Jones, and the Jets move down to number 11, get Penei Sewell, and then they get a quarterback like Kyle Trask.
Well,
in the second
Pats
round.
are at 15.
No, they moved up to
right.
They moved up to 11. They traded with the Giants earlier.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
no, the Giants are still at 11. Pats are 15.
Yeah. I mean, if they traded, I didn't see it. That's all.
Yeah. Okay. Well, but yeah, I think Zach Wilson is going to go number 2, just not to the Jets.
And speaking of a guy we've mentioned a bunch, Mac Jones with the 3rd pick. I got Mac Jones going to the Niners. The Niners have already expressed a ton of interest in Mac Jones. Now, first off, I want to say this. These mock drafts are not who I would take. These mock drafts are not what I would choose whatsoever, not even in the blink of an eye. but I think that they go with this pick here, and I think it's a terrible pick, but they've shown tons and tons of signs of interest in Mac Jones. I have no clue why. I think Mac Jones is. I don't even know how to explain it. I don't think he's that great of a quarterback. He's had the greatest wide receiver core over the last 2 seasons that he's been throwing to. When Tua went out, this was his wide receiver core. Jerry Jeudy, one of the top wide receivers from last year. He had Devonta Smith, Jalen Waddle, and loads of talent all around him, an insane offensive line. He has by far been given everything to work with here on the offensive side of the ball and the defensive side of the ball. So I don't understand the move, but I think that's where they're going to go with this because they've shown, like I said, they've shown a lot of interest in Mac Jones, and that's where I think they go here.
Yeah, I like Mac Jones. I like Mac Jones a lot. I was, I'm was upset when San Francisco moved up to 3, and I've heard all the rumors about Mac Jones and going to San Francisco because I was hoping Mac Jones would be available for the Bears. I was hoping at some point the Bears could trade up, to whether it was 10th or 9th or whatever to get them Mac Jones. So I like Mac Jones. I think Mac Jones is probably for me it's Mac Jones, Trey Lance, Zach Wilson, I think, are the 3 top quarterbacks in this draft. And I know everybody's going to scream and yell at me and throw stuff at the TV screen.
Combs. Were you counting down from 5 to 1?
No, I'm not. I don't think that I don't think that Justin Fields is ready for the NFL. I don't think that he has got what it takes to translate his game from college to the NFL. And I really feel strongly with pretty boy there. What's the number one? I can't think of his name.
Trevor
Lawrence. So I'm not a big fan of Trevor Lawrence. I really feel strongly that he is not going to fare well in the NFL. And it's not because he's going to Jacksonville. I don't care where he goes. I don't think he is going to succeed in the NFL because of just his game. I don't think his game translates well to the NFL. So for me, Zach Wilson, Mac Jones, and Trey Lance, and even I think Kellen Mond. I think Kellen Mond is a very underrated quarterback in this draft. I really do. I think you're going to get Kellen Mond in the 2nd or 3rd round, and you're going to get the steal of the draft because I think he's got everything that it takes to be a very good player in this league.
Yeah, I like Kellen Mond a lot. And I think, honestly, at this point, with how good his pro day was and everything, I don't even know if he'll be there in the 2nd and 3rd round. He's made a lot of up jumps in his draft stock because of how good that his pro day was. He's made quite a bit of
maybe
jumps.
The Bears
actually
will smarten up and finally get themselves a quarterback of color and take Kellen Mond in the 1st round then.
They do have a quarterback of color. A redhead.
Red?
Yeah.
Red? Yeah.
So with that being said, speaking of redheads, I don't know where I'm going with this one. With the 4th overall pick, even though he's not a redhead, I know I just said that. I've got the 4th quarterback taken off the board with the 4th pick in this one. That's Justin Fields to the Atlanta Falcons.
Wow.
Atlanta has shown a lot of interest, and Justin Fields had an incredible pro day. Many draft experts and NFL scouts across the league said it was the best pro day that they've seen in a long time. He ran a 4.440 and stumbled. Still ran a 4.4. It was a 4.44, a lot of fours there, and stumbled. Still ran that time while also showcasing incredible arm talent. Put the ball perfectly everywhere where you would want it at all times, as he did on the field as well. He threw, I believe it was only 2 interceptions in his first season as a starter at Ohio State. It was either 2 or 3. So don't quote me on that one. It's either 2 or 3. And one of those was to lose the semifinals to the Clemson Tigers. That pick ended up sealing the game for Clemson. But nonetheless, Justin Fields, I think, has shown all the maturity to be an NFL quarterback. Where I think Mac Jones, another reason why I'm not a big fan of Mac Jones, he's shown in many cases that he is not mature. He's had 2 DUIs while in high school. He's had literally everything put in front of him at the college level on a silver platter, and it's like I said, it's not even close. If you give any of the quarterbacks taken in the first round his weapons and his offense and his defense and coaching staff he's had, I guarantee you right now, every single one of them wins a national championship 2 times. When Tua probably, I don't even know if he would have started. Honestly, if you put, Justin Fields there, Trevor Lawrence there, Zach Wilson there, they would have succeeded possibly even more than what Tua did. And I think we'd be talking about, Alabama would still, have that legacy they had in the 2010s where they were winning, it seemed like every year or every other year. So I think that if you put anywhere else in that spot, I think Mac Jones has been given really everything there, and Justin Fields
he may
has
be
shown the
given
maturity.
everything, but he earned it in high school. You can say all you want about his DUIs, but that doesn't affect his on-the-field performance. And when you perform in high school, you get to a good college, and therefore you get a top draft in the NFL. That's just the way it works, Wyatt.
Yeah, and not only that, but for me, when it comes to Justin Fields, he's got a lot of fun, and it's not just about he had a great pro day. You know what? When I'm outside in the backyard with my kids, man, I'm throwing BBs. Like, I could put together a tape that shows him. It looks like I'm a great quarterback. You know why? Because I don't have 200-pound monsters coming at me while I am playing the game.
But Mac Jones without 200 pounds monsters there on his pro day with no DB looked horrible.
I don't care about the pro days. I care about what they do during the games.
Bill
the
Belichick
pro days mean nothing. We've had this argument before. Pro days and all this stuff in the combine, it means nothing. What means something is what they do while they're on the field, in the game, in the pads, with the pressure on. That's what matters. And Justin Fields has a tendency to hold on to the ball way too damn long. He has a tendency to take sacks when he should just get rid of the ball. He has a tendency to fumble because he tries to make things happen, running out of the pocket and running around, and gets caught because he's really not that fast. He ran a 4.4. He ran a 4.440, and I guarantee you it was probably a 4.9, and they fast forwarded the tape and said it was a 4.4. He is not. Look,
There's a
I
thing
don't
called
care.
Football speed and speed.
You say all that you want. This kid, you can go ahead and draft Justin Fields at 4 if you're the Atlanta Falcons, but you are in the same spot that you were with Matty Ice, a guy who is talked about how much talent he has and just never really materializes to show it.
All right, guys, we're getting tight on time here, Wyatt. So let's go ahead and go through the next few here.
Yeah, so I'll just run through them here, and you guys kind of react to which ones you like and dislike.
We don't like
with the
any
fifth
of them.
pick,
They're all trash.
with the fifth pick, the Cincinnati Bengals take tight end Kyle Pitts.
I think he's going to Atlanta.
Incredible athlete, can play wide receiver or tight end wherever you want him.
Jets.
And with the sixth pick,
6.
Miami Dolphins taking Jamar Chase. 7th pick, Detroit Lions take Devonta Smith. And 8th pick, Carolina Panthers takes Penei Sewell. 9th pick, Denver Broncos take quarterback Trey Lance, North Dakota State. And with the 10th pick, the Dallas Cowboys take Patrick Surtain, DB from Alabama.
I think that the Cincinnati Bengals taking anybody other than Penei Sewell, if he's there at 6, is asinine. If you're not taking Penei Sewell to protect your quarterback, to protect the guy that you just lost last year due to injury,
because
to
the line
protect
sucked.
the guy you picked with your number 1 pick last year, like that, you have got to be out of your mind if you don't go Penei Sewell and you go tight end. If you're the Cincinnati Bengals,
I think they should go with Kyle Pitts there if he's still on the board. But once again, or not Kyle Pitts, sorry, Penei Sewell. My bad, I miscorrected there. I think they should go with Penei Sewell there to get some protection for Joe Burrow. But they have, like I said, I like to look at what teams have said, who they've showed interest on, who they've had visit. And, the Bengals have given a ton of interest in Kyle Pitts and relatively none pretty much to Penei Sewell. So I don't think that it's a good idea for them to pick Kyle Pitts there. I mean, I think Kyle Pitts is an incredible athlete. He's a great receiver, and he's going to be awesome wherever he is. But, I think that they should take Penei Sewell there.
If
but
I'm
with that
Joe
being said, these aren't.
And the draft pick comes out, and you hear the commissioner say, with the number 6 overall pick, the Cincinnati Bengals select Kyle Pitts, and Penei Sewell's still on the board, I'm sitting out next year. I'm still hurt. I'm sorry.
No,
He is
Joe
sitting out
Burrow
anyways.
was reportedly. No, Joe Burrow was reportedly excited that the Bengals had interest in Kyle Pitts. His own words.
Well,
I love Kyle
place loves
Pitts.
him.
Kyle Pitts is probably has a chance to be one of the greatest tight ends that ever step on the field. Again, I've seen this guy play. He is everything that Aaron Hernandez should have been. And this kid is amazing, and he's a generational talent at tight end. But Penei Sewell is there's no way you don't go Penei Sewell with Joe Burrow's under center. You have to take somebody
I
who
agree
can
with you.
protect your guy.
so
I
let me
think they
play,
absolutely should. I just think they'll make a stupid move here.
let me play devil's advocate here. Joe Burrow is sitting out next year anyways because there should be zero reason why he's coming back next year whatsoever. He should set the whole season out. So you should probably take the best person on the board simply to build your team up for next year, for the following year, and then maybe take
Penei
linemen.
Sewell.
No,
Penei
because
Sewell might still be the best guy on the board here. He's an incredible
Penei Sewell's the
tackle.
best guy on the board, other than the quarterbacks, other than Zach Wilson and Trevor Lawrence. Penei Sewell is the next best option. The other guys are only going quarterback because they have nobody else.
breaking
Penei
news.
Sewell right now has a shot to be like Quentin Nelson in the 2018 draft, where Quentin Nelson was the best player from that draft.
So breaking news: the Chicago Bears move up to the 6th overall pick and they draft Kyle Trask.
I hope not.
I hope
He
so.
looked terrible at his pro day too, missing with literally no cornerbacks, no defense in his face, missing on throws. He threw one that was like behind his receiver that was 15 yards away from him. It was rough. Kyle Trask lost a lot of draft
Hey, Wyatt,
stock
how
for
did
his
you
pro
do
day.
on your pro day?
I didn't have a pro day.
Okay, then.
I could judge a pro day though.
That's why you get paid the big bucks over there, Mr. Harris. So, guys, we are going to take our last break of the night. We've had an action-packed show, but now it is time to open up to the fans here, guys. We're going to open up to Shop Talk. If you guys want to talk about anything over here, let us know in the chat section, youtube.com/manhour. Let us know. We'll talk about it. We'll discuss it. Anything is open. And, of course, we have the after-hour show coming up here at 10 p.m. East Coast time as well. Head over to manhourradio.com. And the link is right there on the members only pad. So we'll be right back here, guys, after the break.
That'll bring us to the 2-minute warning.
And welcome back to Man Hour, guys. Michael Buckhouse along with Brandon Combs and Wyatt Williams. Head over to manhourradio.com and join the members tab so you get access to the after show, which starts here at 10 p.m. East Coast time, only at manhourradio.com. Go ahead and check that out. Become a member for $3 a month. If you missed any part of the show whatsoever, you can head over to iTunes, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Download this on podcast form, or you can check us out on youtube.com/manhour as we do upload the clips from the show each and every day. So let's go ahead and bring everybody back on screen here, guys. We've had some pretty good talk as people are starting to jump offline here. So good night to Mrs. Smith over there. Stacy, you have a great night as well. And so the guys, I don't know. It's been fun. We always have great. And Drew wants to know, should we bring up Drew's comment, Combs?
Yeah.
Okay.
What's your opinions on Badou and Mercedes? So, what you guys may not know is Akil Badou. He's a player for the Detroit Tigers who has had a really solid start to the season. He's hitting .333 right now, slugging at a .944 clip, which is amazing. But it's hard to know what to make of this guy 9 games into the season. Same thing with Yermin Mercedes for the White Sox. We are 9 games into the season. They are both off to hot starts. They both look really good. I think Yermin Mercedes, and I said this last week on the show, I think he's going to be everything that Kyle Schwarber ended up not being. I think he's got the chance to do that. So I think the kid can be one of those 280 to 290 guys who hits for 30 home runs and hits a ton of doubles. And Badou is I think a bona fide all-star. I think he's going to be one of those guys who stays in the league for a long time and he plays really hard. But again, we're only 9 games in. It's hard to get excited about players 9 games in, as I just watched freaking a guy who has been in the league for 6 years throw
Where
one
was
9
Javi
rows deep.
Baez throwing that?
I have no idea, but he almost threw
God.
it into the second deck behind first base.
So
What was he doing?
So
But
hang on,
anyway.
Combs. Hang on. Like you
Yeah.
cannot get excited about players 9 games into the season, but you can dog players for nine guys into the season.
Don't even say. The
I can
Cubs
tell you
are
right now,
hitting
what's the difference?
147 as a team.
Okay,
147
They
as
are
a
only
team.
9 games. They're only 9 games into the season.
I can tell you right now,
Stop
I'm
with
getting
the.
excited
They're
about
not.
9
Wait.
games.
They are not only 9 games in the season. They couldn't hit in 2018. They couldn't hit in 2019. They couldn't hit in 2020.
We're not talking
and they're
about this season.
continuing
We're talking
this
about
trend.
2021.
This is a trend that the Cubs have had for the last 3 seasons. This team, for whatever reason, for as much talent as it has, cannot hit on a consistent basis. They'll get hot. They'll get hot for about a 2-week stretch, and they'll have their games where they're beating teams 10-3 and all of that stuff, and then they're going to go cold again. And then they'll get hot again for a little bit, and then they'll go cold. That's what this team is. And for those Cubs fans that are out there that I've been arguing with all day long about, this team is, if you expected the 2016 to just come back out of the blue, you were sadly mistaken. This is what this team is. This team is going to have to win a lot of games on its starting pitching and its defense. It is not going to be the bats that carries this team anywhere. And to be honest with you, with the way that they're hitting right now, the only way they're carrying us to is a last place finish in this division.
Well, I gotta say, I am jumping to the hype of 9 games. Mercedes, I love Mercedes so far. Okay, 485 feet. He belted that thing the other day. I mean, one of the farthest home runs that I've ever watched live. Just wow. I mean, it was insane. He sent that thing gone. Bye bye. It was
The furthest
crazy.
one I ever seen was Mark McGuire in the old Oakland Coliseum, where they were building something across the street. He hit it out of the Coliseum and hit a tractor across the street that was building the new stadium on the fly. It was absolutely insane.
Wow.
It was the longest home run I've ever seen in my life.
I want to bring this up for Drew real quick. Drew asks, who did you guys pick to take ETN? Let me pull it up real quick. I just put
He's
it away.
gonna come late. Yeah, he'll probably go. I would say somewhere between like 17 and 24 is where I would have.
I've got him at 16 to the Arizona Cardinals.
You guys are way too early on that. Like, it is going to be like the Chiefs, like this last year.
ETN to the Cardinals. Ooh.
Yeah, so
I like that.
Like he'll go very, very late first round.
He fits in well with the Cardinals.
Yeah.
So if you think about that, Buck,
I'm telling you, man.
imagine having like I was when he said 16, I was like, ooh, that's kind of early. And then he said Cardinals, and I was like, oh, that makes a ton
That's
of sense.
why.
Like,
That's why he's a pass catching running back
Yeah.
that can fit in a
with
high
Kyler Murray and ETN.
exactly.
Oh, man.
In a
Oh,
fast
my
moving
word.
electric offense. That's exactly what he ran
Yeah.
the same offense pretty much at Clemson, and he was
Yeah.
incredibly successful. All time
I
ACC
like that
leading
fit,
rusher.
Wyatt. Kudos on that one, buddy.
So-
I
Yeah.
like that one.
we will see. But I still want to talk about this a tad bit, Combs, just because like you have been saying. Because I've been seeing you on Facebook. I've been trolling all day, all day long, and
He's trying to mute me, Wyatt.
no, I'm not. But like, how would you fix this Chicago Cubs batting? Is it a new coach? Is it player? Like how would you fix it?
You got to move the players around. You've got to go and you've got to sell. You're going to have to, by the All-Star break, you're going to be a seller. You are going to have to get rid of Chris Bryant. You're going to have to get pieces in, and you need to rebuild the farm system. They need to do it the way that they were trying to do it back in 2015 and build through the farm system. But instead, they traded away all their farm system pieces, and they mortgaged the future for the World Series, which I'm happy for. I'm all right with the fact that they're struggling right now because they won that World Series. But now, if they want to get back on course and they want to do it again, they've got to start from the system down, and they've got nothing in the minor leagues with the exception of Nico Horner. And that's another thing. Once Nico Horner comes up, this could be a very different looking team because that kid was flat out hitting all spring long. And the fact that he didn't make the team because of service time is just absolutely atrocious because he was clearly the best hitter on this team. And in spring training, when this team was rolling, was when Nico Horner was leading the charge. And once he comes back up, it's gonna be a different looking offense. But you're going to have to make moves. This is not going to be the same looking Cubs team at the start of the 2022 season.
So let me ask you this quiet question here. Would you have rather have won the World Series back in 2016 or been relevant right now?
The World Series 2016, 100 times over.
100, okay. Why? What about you?
I've been through so many losing seasons with the Cubs that 2016 season, I wanted nothing more than that World Series. Like, I had a T-shirt that said "Just one before I die." Like, that was my motto.
So why? You mean like you are a passive Cubs fan over there? Would you have rather won the World Series or been like irrelevant now?
World Series, 100%.
Okay. So World Series. So you can't be too bad, Cubs fans. You can't be too mad because you won a World Series.
I'm not mad. I'm not mad at all. Like, again, I just think that if they want to be relevant again and they want to have another shot, they've got to do some things differently. They've got to build differently. They did not do a good job of restocking the minor leagues when they were making all those trades to win that World Series. I mean, you look at all the players that they traded away. You look at the guy who's over there. I mean, he just got hurt for the White Sox. But, we traded God, now I'm going to forget his dang name. Eloy Jimenez. We traded Eloy Jimenez to the White Sox so that we could get Jose Quintana. And that did not pan out. In 2016, we traded away half of the Yankees' young stars that they have now that are coming up and are amazing. We traded them to them so we can get 3 months out of Aroldis Chapman. So I'm okay with it. I'm okay with the trade-off.
Alrighty, guys. So you heard it here first. A Cubs fan is happy about being mediocre because they won a World Series in 2016 and 1985.
Not what I said.
That's exactly what you said.
You.
All right, guys. That's it for the Man Hour. Join us tomorrow, same time, same place. YouTube.com/Man Hour. Also find us on iTunes, Spotify, and iHeartRadio as well. After Hours show, starting now.